name is Adrian Diaz. I'm a part of the customer success team here at Mindflash. I'll have Sean here introduce himself shortly.
Yes, hi, my name is Sean Venkat. I'm a senior product manager with Mindflash, and I'm here with Adrian. We're going to talk to you about some of the new enhancements we've made to Mindflash. As always, this webinar is being recorded, and a link will be sent out shortly after the webinar is completed. So here's an agenda for the webinar. Not sure what's going on. Some technical issue. What's going on? Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so here's our agenda for the webinar. I'm going to show you some new design updates we've made to Mindflash pages. I will also talk about retake tracking, quiz scores, and how do I find this information. Adrian will talk about the third-party integrations, and we'll conclude with white label branding, and I'll show you what that looks like in Mindflash. So let's talk about the new design. So we've made some slight design changes to the Mindflash training experience and want to take this time to go through them with you. All of the public-facing pages have gone through a slight redesign, including the public course, public series, and catalog pages. So let me bring one up for you. So as you can see here, the update we made here is that the content is focused on the left, and all of the information related to the course is to the right. So you have the name, the description, and the trainer of the course is all on the right-hand side. So it's completely clear on where all the information is located. This is the exact same view for the series as well as the catalog. The trainee dashboard has also been updated. We have now organized all the course-related information in one table to the left, and then you'll see handouts, if there are any, onto the right. No functionality changes have been made. It's just an update to look and feel. This screen has also been optimized for mobile use, so trainees can log in via their smartphones and interact with it. So let me show you how that looks. So as you can see, it's mobile-friendly, and they can log in through their mobile device. So the next thing I want to show you is the player. We made some small changes to the player as well. So here, the top portion is now white, and you'll see these blue icons instead of we used to have the gray and the black there. And also the background of the player is now going to take effect from a selection you made in the Manage Account section for your body background. And I can show you where that is found right now. So when you go to Manage Account, you'll see these body color background. So now any of these selections you make will now get translated to the dashboard and or the player. So if I choose green, click Apply, click Refresh, it's now a green background. We've also made some changes to the, so also one thing is there's no functionality changes, it's just an update to look and feel. Also the white theme, which was available only for pro customers, is now going to be made available to advanced customers. So now you can have the white background throughout your trainee experience. Emails have also been revamped to be more visually appealing. Instead of just links, we have buttons for users to click to draw their attention on what to do next. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's what an email looks like now. So it's huge buttons to tell you what to do and what's your next call to action. But all the text is essentially the same. We cleaned some things up there, but made it extremely clear for you to know what's the next action for you to do. Cool. Great. So let's move on to retake. So many have requested the ability to track the number of requests, the number of attempts your trainees are taking for your courses. And so this information is important to see how many attempts it is taking for your trainees to pass a particular course. Are they passing the course on one attempt or on multiple attempts? Now you can see this information right in Mindflash. You must make sure that in your course settings you have enabled the retake course setting. So let me show you how that works. Is it now? Oops, where is it now? Oh, here, sorry. Okay, so now I'm at the course. I'm going to go to the sales training course here. And you're going to see the list of I'm going to click on the trainees tab, and I'm going to see the list of all the trainees in the course. The first thing I want to do is see how many attempts did people take on this course. So I can enable this information by going to the gear here and selecting the completions option. So I click here, check completions. So if you notice, Ken has 2 completions that he's done for this course. And I want to basically examine further on what happened here. So let me click on Ken, and I can see his full completion history here. Oh, well, they're supposed to have a completion history there. So let me click on another person, make sure it's there. Oh, well, there's a bug here. There should be some completion history here that's currently not displaying for some reason, but you'll see all the information about the specific attempts that the user made. It will show when they were invited, and if they actually took a retake, or if they were reset. You'll see all this information here. Next thing we're going to talk about is, after our big update we made in July, we've been asked, why can't I see them anymore? Well, let me show you how to display that information. So if I go back to this sales training course, and I'm still in the trainees tab, I'm going to enable the quizzes scores column here. So I enable that, and I'll see the quiz scores here. And when I click on this, it will show me what they answered for their quiz. So you can see here what was answered for the quiz. And for each quiz, you'll see every single answer related to the quiz. Next thing we're going to chat about is the third-party integrations. So I'm going to pass this off to Adrian now.
Awesome, thanks. So as you mentioned, a couple of the ways that you can start utilizing Mindflash is to, well, obviously we're all here because we're conducting online training, but there are often times where you are using many different types of apps over the course of conducting your day-to-day business. And so one of the things you can do is think about ways that you can connect these apps that you use on a daily basis, but try to figure out a way of automating what are usually repetitive tasks. And Zapier is something that we're working with, and a great thing about them is that you can connect these apps that we use on a daily basis with absolutely no coding required. So they support hundreds of apps. I mentioned a couple already, like Gmail, Salesforce. They also support GoToWebinar, just to name a few. The problem, though, is that while these apps are helping us with our business, they're oftentimes not connected with one another. So whenever we need to share information across apps, it tends to be time-consuming and repetitive to do. Usually not that big of a deal if you're only sharing information across apps every now and then. But if you're like some of the customers that I've worked with who are training thousands of people, even a small manual task can quickly become something that's very time-consuming and even increase the chance that there might be a mistake made or something is overlooked when you're sharing data across those apps. So a service like Zapier can come in and help you be more productive with just a few clicks. Might come as a surprise, but I'm not a programmer by any means. For those of you that are here and work with me, might be a surprise. But even I, though, when using the service like Zapier, was able to connect my everyday apps with Mindflash and use them to determine what courses to enroll someone in, or even what user group they should belong to. Now, for the purposes of this webinar, I'll really only highlight 3 ways I think you can take advantage of integrating your apps with Mindflash. But there are many other ways you could potentially set this up. So if you are interested in learning more, after I talk about the 3rd example, I'll let you know how you can reach out to us. Now, as far as the three use cases that I'll cover. Perhaps the biggest one, I think, is to consider integrating our training solution with something every single one of us is familiar with, and that's GoToWebinar. Now, as you know, GoToWebinar is a product that is designed to allow you to host live online events. Great tool for these sort of live sessions, but the problem is that usually you're left with a lot of manual work after the webinar is done, with making sure that everyone that attended or those that didn't receive some sort of follow-up afterward. To give you an example, I was actually on a call just the other day with a customer to me about how they just rolled out a new product. And in order to build up excitement for it, he wanted to schedule a webinar to get everyone on board with a new product as quickly as possible. The webinar itself was great, no issues there. But what was really giving him grief was how to take that momentum from the webinar and ensure that people were actually absorbing the information and are able to sell the new product they were talking about. Of course, also for those that but didn't attend, he wants to make sure that they are also able to get the same information that was covered in the session, and then also have the same ability to sell that product as if they were actually in attendance in that session. Now, figuring out who did or didn't attend, that's easy, but if you're like us and wearing several hats and are working with hundreds, if not thousands of people, finding the time to do this can be a tough ask. Or at least it could have been, but after chatting with my customer here for a few minutes and getting a better understanding of what it is that he hoped to achieve, we came up with a solution to automate his particular workflow, but now with something like Zapier, it's actually even easier to do. So you could have something like 2 commands running for every webinar in Zapier. One would take everyone that registered but didn't attend, and then automatically enroll them in a course that covers all of the same presentation materials used in the live session. The second rule would take anyone that registered but did not attend, and then everyone that did attend, send them a recap course afterwards. So of course, you are sending them all the presentation materials, talking about all the new products that you're launching, but important with that is also making sure that they retain the material. So that second rule would essentially allow you to provide them like an assessment, and that will then give you Mindflash reports that allows you to see, okay, this person did well, this person didn't do well, so maybe they deserve a separate follow-up there. Now, with my customer having his workflow automated, he could go back to his boss, head held high, and be able to say, with confidence that everyone understood the material, because he'd be able to show reports showing that those that did attend scored high enough on their quizzes, and then those that didn't, at least they were provided a follow-up with the Mindflash course that they were automatically registered for after registering for the webinar. Now, for the second use case, whether you're training in a live training setting or maybe you're utilizing Mindflash to distribute ad hoc training, you'll likely need to track their progress, and occasionally this is done in something like a CRM software. Each of these solutions, and many others really that Zapier supports, could be used to trigger an action where it either sends information to another application, or the CRM can be the one that receives information from another workflow. With Zapier, you can really customize how information is shared from one application to the other. Now, as an example, I had another customer who needed to quickly train their partners on all the products that they are selling, and also in addition to new products that are being rolled out on a constant basis. Their use case was similar to the other customer, but in this particular case, they were actually also training in the thousands of people. And so they tried the live training method, but for them, they actually really found the process to be really cumbersome and repetitive, because, as you can imagine, having to accommodate so many different schedules meant that they had to host the same session over and over again, which I guess there's only so many times you can repeat the same thing and before you lose your mind, apparently. So, their decision was an easy one. They wanted to standardize their training process in Mindflash, and now they were looking for a way to take those partners that they have listed as contacts in their CRM and provide them online training courses as quickly and efficiently as possible. I'm not sure if any of you are in the same boat, but also of importance for them was to reduce any lag times between when they added a new partner to their CRM system and when they receive their training courses. Because after all, time equals money. So the more time it took for them to complete their training, that meant real loss in potential revenue. Now, normally automating this type of workflow requires you to do some complicated integration via an API, and you're using developer resources. But by integrating your CRM with Mindflash in Zapier, you can actually solve this problem with without the use of developer resources. So let's say as soon as someone is added as a contact, the integration can trigger a set of actions where one, they're enrolled in a series of courses, and then two, you can actually add the user's details to an email campaign in something like Pardot or MailChimp, just to name a couple of examples. Now, for our final example, maybe there are a couple of you here who are looking to sell courses. Maybe you have a shopping cart via service like Shopify, or perhaps you're accepting payments directly from your customers using PayPal. There are a lot of different ways for you to use your preferred app for accepting payments, and then you can safely share that those customer details to Mindflash. When it comes to the global market for payment methods, PayPal is probably the most popular way to send and receive payments, so we'll just use that as an example. I've had some customers who were looking to provide a convenient alternative for their customers to learn about subjects that normally they would cover in a classroom setting. But by integrating PayPal with Mindflash, you can actually maintain and keep the storefront that you already have on your website, where your customers can purchase any other goods and services that you're already selling. But now with the integration, you can also offer Mindflash courses, and then create a rule where every new sale is tracked and routed to the appropriate course that they purchased all automatically. And so in addition to enrolling them in whatever courses they purchased, you could also set it up where maybe they are added to an email campaign in MailChimp where you talk about some other courses they might be interested in purchasing, or maybe even some live sessions that they want to attend. And then also you can help automate your record keeping by taking every new sale from PayPal, and then via a command or a rule that you set up in Zapier, safely share it with something like Google Sheets, where every new sale is added as a row for you to reference. And so those are just the three examples of the ways that you can utilize Zapier to integrate these third-party apps that you might be using on a day-to-day basis. If you are interested in learning more, please feel free to reach out to any of the different contacts here. So if you're a customer, we'd love to talk with you here at Customer Success. And if you're still considering Mindflash as your training solution, then definitely you'll want to reach out to your product specialists at sales@mindflash.com. So thank you again.
Thanks, Adrian. So our final topic for today is to talk about white label branding. So we've heard from many customers that you want more options to customize your training experience. Coming soon, you'll now be able to fully showcase your identity to your trainees in many parts of Mindflash. Here are some examples of what a white label customization can look like. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's an example of a dashboard that is completely customizable. So you can see the look and feel, the colors, the fonts, the background, all the buttons, links, everything is fully customizable once you set it up that way. Here's an example of an email, the same brand, same company. Again, fully customizable. Background image, logo, the text inside the email is also customizable, and any of the colors in the email. Here's the trainee player. So again, all the buttons are customizable. The top buttons that we had shown before, the title of the course, all this is completely customizable. And then here's the public course page. So again, matches the same styles that you've seen from the other pages, and it just translates throughout the entire app. So now here's another theme that you can look at. It's a company called Everest, and you can see they have a blue and white theme with gray as their background and an image of the mountain. So that's all customizable in the background here. And it translates throughout various parts of the product, so that includes the emails and then the player, as well as the public course pages. So again, completely customizable experience that you can provide your trainees, from the emails to the player to the dashboard, all the different parts of the training would see. So not only you can customize the look and feel, but you'll also be able to use your own SMTP server. So for customers who have issues with deliverability, this is a great option for you. So you can have all of your training emails go through your own SMTP and make sure that all of the trainees actually get the emails, and you can remove the references to Mindflash in those emails as well. So any questions so far?
Alrighty, perfect. So something we didn't mention it early on, and so we'll give more people the appropriate time to submit their questions. But we'd love to hear your feedback and kind of anything, any thoughts that you'd like to share. So we'll go ahead and start answering these questions as they come. So I think let's go ahead and take a look. So I have someone here that mentions that you were having issues connecting to the webinar. So hopefully that you were able to resolve it if you're still here. But if not, I guess a good reminder: this webinar was recorded and still is, so you'll get a recording. So I'll make a note of it and make sure that you get the appropriate follow-up here. Next question here is asking about the retake. So is the completions data retroactive, or does it just collect data from now on? So that's a good question. So the retake ability, or the retake tracking, it actually tracks it as of when we released the feature. That was off the top of my head of August 5th. I'll get some clarification here in just a second, but from August 5th onwards, you'll be able to see how many times people have completed the training. Anything before August 5th would not be tracked. So definitely something to keep in mind in case you see some people with completion history and some people don't. Chances are it depends on when they actually completed the course. Okay, so the next question here: at what tier or plan can I get access to the awesome white label features? I'll go ahead and...
Yeah, so that's for, you'll need to contact your CSM, so depending on the plan you're in, but it's Pro and above, or Enterprise and above, I should say. We'll have that option, but definitely contact your CSM and we can see how that can work for you. But yeah, a lot of customers have been showing interest in it, and I've been talking to many customers, showing them examples, so they're definitely interested. So definitely please contact us.
Yeah, and then if you are uncertain of who your direct contact is, we are more than happy to help figure that out for you if you send an email over to help@mindflash.com. So either do that, or if you already know who your dedicated contact is, we can absolutely work with you on figuring out what custom branding options are of interest to you, and just talk through the details there. The next question right after that looks like, yeah, will it cost more? We'll have a variety of different options that we're going to be including as part of our what we consider a custom branding or white labeling package. So depending on what you're looking for, it may or may not cost more. So that's why, if you are interested in learning more just about how to work, and also when it comes to costs, definitely reach out to your customer success contact. Next question, when is it available? With a couple of question marks.
Which one, the white label?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's related to the white label. So what do you think?
Yeah, so that's going to be end of November, but we'll definitely put out notices beforehand of when we will be launching it. But yeah, so I'm really excited people are interested in this white label option, so we'll definitely take down your information and contact you further and get you more information. But yeah, end of November we should have this out. And yeah.
Perfect. And so definitely some interest here in the customizability. Looks like the next question is related to emails. And the question is, will I be able to turn on or off emails such as completion emails?
Good question. Not at this time, but we're definitely working on that as an option. So I've heard many that, either use the API or, have other ways of getting their content to their trainees so they don't need the emails as their main source of truth, or at least reminders for, they've done certain actions. So it's definitely something we're investigating and looking into, but it's not part of this new white label customization as of this time.
Okay. And then the next question here, white label is not for reselling, correct?
Correct. It's just your own experience that you're using for, your trainees.
And this next question I'll be able to take. So can Mindflash keep training history for 3+ years? So we would, absolutely love to have you as a customer for 3+ years, 5 years, 10 years. So really, the answer to that just depends on how long you maintain an active account with us. The only time that we ever delete data is whenever you reset a trainee in the course, which, as you would expect, delete their previous progress. Although if you are resetting them now in a course, you can actually at least see if they passed or failed that first attempt. So there is some completion data there. The only true data loss is if you like drop them from a course. Then in that case, they're no longer registered in something, so we wouldn't track history there. But yeah, for anyone that's looking for reports for compliance reasons or regulations or anything like that, yeah, as long as the user is enrolled in the course, you maintain an active account, we'll keep tracking your data. Okay, so the next question here, can you give a short walkthrough on the customization aspect? I imagine this has to do with the color schemes and brands.
Yeah, so this is, when we say white label, it's essentially you can do whatever you want. So if you have your own company colors and brand, that's what would be used for this, these emails and these pages. So you would provide us colors, some information on, what images you want to put, and we would basically build this experience for you. Or if you have something to refer to, like a style guide or something else, we would use that as part of the process of creating these pages and the emails. And then all the content within the emails is completely customizable as well. There's certain information you need to put, but you can put your own text in there, and we would basically use those emails for your account, for all your accounts.
Perfect. And before moving on to the next question, I took a look for the retake history, whether it was retroactive or not, and so I can confirm that it was August 5th. So I was right, and yay. So anything after August 5th, that's when you'll be able to track how many retakes someone has.
And you must make sure that the setting is on in your course settings, that you enable that retake course setting, so that's for the trainees to do it, but also you can see that information.
Okay, so the next question here, is the white label branding available to the advanced tier?
Not at this time. It's going to be, enterprise and above, but definitely contact your CSM and see any more information about what can be done, but at this time, no.
And then the next question, are you able to use your mobile device to take the quiz? I need one question to choose the picture, didn't work prior. So I'll be able to answer that one. So we have allowed trainees to take their courses on mobile devices, whether it's an iPhone, an Android, or any other mobile device. There are some limitations on phones specifically that doesn't allow the question you referenced there, the picture questions, the two that we offer. They won't work on those devices, but if they're taking it on like an iPad or an Android tablet, then it would work there because there's more screen real estate available. So definitely something that we're aware of. People would like to see in the future to have more options for mobile devices, but just at this time we don't have a way for you to be able to do that on those mobile devices, even though we're even with with some of the customization options that we're doing to make it more mobile friendly, so we're working toward that for sure. And so if you ever have any questions about whether we're building that or what other options we have in the future, then definitely we can work with you on that. Now, the next question here, can white labeling be applied differently to our different courses? Good question.
So right now we've set it up that it's consistent for all of them, but definitely reach out. We could chat with you about maybe possibly doing that in the future. But right now it's kind of a consistent look and feel for all the courses, all the series, etc.
Okay. And the next question is, can we have multiple email addresses for a course? One for sending out and one to be used for receiving training status.
We need to take that question offline. There's a little bit more detail that needs to be asked on that one, so we'll find out from a little bit more what you're looking for.
Perfect. So I'll make a note, and then I'll follow up with you personally on that, so we can make sure you have the information, and then along with the person earlier that was having connection issues. Okay. So now, I got a thank you from one of our questions. No, thank you for taking the time. We definitely appreciate every one of the questions. Now, here's one. Speaking of mobile use, will there be an Android app?
Good question. So right now we have been focused more on the mobile web experience. So making sure, like, doesn't matter what device, you can basically take your courses via your web browser on your phone. But we're definitely investigating that for some time in the future. But at this time, it's not something we're working on.
Okay. Next question here. Do you keep training records even after I archive a trainee? So yeah, definitely. When it comes to how we handle the data tracking, really the two primary things that we expect would be that obviously your account would be active, and then the other is that their user is still enrolled or was enrolled in the course. We don't delete them if you archive them, so if you want to report back on years prior to see if John completed his training, you'll absolutely be able to do that. So not a problem there. The next question here, Zapier costs are not included in Mindflash, correct? Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So Zapier is its own standalone service, so they would have their own fees associated with that, and depending on what type of customizations you'd be looking for, that would obviously determine what the price would be there. Okay. So this one is in regards to white labeling. So we do not customize the white label ourselves, is the question.
Correct. It's not somewhere where you can do it in the interface, but we'll work with you on, we'll provide you a file or something that you can fill out that will allow us to basically have this look and feel for you. So instructions will be provided at a later date, but if you're definitely interested, we can chat and then we can figure out the best way to work together on it. But yeah, it's essentially something where we partner together, we identify kind of what's your colors and things like that, and we basically institute it into your account.
Okay. Next question, will it always say, in quotes, powered by Mindflash? So that one, if you are a pro tier or enterprise customer, there's a setting right now that allows you to remove any Mindflash branding, including that powered by Mindflash tagline. So that would actually be something you can do right now if you're a pro tier customer. You would find that setting in your manage account page. We'll show you quickly where that is, and it's literally a checkbox, so easy as this can be. So you can go ahead and remove that whenever you need. Retake tracking. You said August 5th. Did you mean October 5th? Since it is September 20th. Apologize for the lack of clarity there. So this retake tracking is actually something that is in the product right now. So if you're on the pro tier or above, you have the ability of being able to track all of this progress now. So our goal with this option was just to highlight that that's an option because it was something that we recently added to the product. So we wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that it was available.
So I showed how to hide this.
Perfect. And so yeah, I was a bit distracted, but yeah, if you see that checkbox, yeah, that's all it is. And so as soon as you go to another page, that'll take away things like the Powered by Mindflash, It'll also remove any Mindflash logos that might appear on emails, and so yeah, that's all that's needed for that. Okay, so will this recording or training deck be available after this webinar? Yeah, absolutely. So you'll be able to get a copy of it as a registrant. So definitely stay tuned for that. Ooh, yay! Another person that likes the Mindflash branding. So I like the Mindflash branding. So yeah, well, of course we do too. We love our we love ours, and so whether it's something that you are interested in learning more about, or yeah, if you're interested in learning more, we'll be there to answer any questions you may have. So yeah, we'd love to get any feedback at all. Okay, and that appears to be the last of the questions. I'll give it another minute or so, but okay, there we go. So is there a way to automatically archive enrollees, say after a deadline is passed? So there's nothing built into the product at the moment, but I think this would also be a good opportunity for us to chat offline just to double check and see what your particular use case is for that. So I've made a note of it to contact you as well. So you'll get a message from me, and we can chat offline. Okay, where can past webinars be found on your website? Perfect. So there's a couple of options. Well, first, if you ever want to know what webinars we have coming up, in our help center, which is help.mindflash.com, we have all of our documentation on how to use our product, but then there's also a link there where you can find out what our schedule looks like for webinars. If you're looking for webinars that we've already done, as you asked there, it's available on our YouTube page. So if you go to youtube.com/mindflashtraining, that'll be your go-to place for not only this recording, but just any in the future as well. So definitely encourage you to check that out. Okay, perfect. Well then, if there are any other questions that come up, I'll make sure that you get a response afterward. But I think, yeah, at this point, we'll go ahead and end this webinar for now. Thanks again, everyone, for making the time. We really appreciate you making the time, and we'll work on getting you this recording as soon as possible. And otherwise, yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day and happy training.
Take care.